morning, Central Texas. Welcome to Kids Community Connections, 103.1 Kids FM. I'm Phyllis Jones, your host for this morning. Before we start the show, I want to say thank you to everyone who came out last night to Lights Out for Mitchell. Mitchell was a young man who got murdered in the park last year on August 12th. And his murder's still unsolved, but his mother wanted a candlelight visual. And we did that. So I want to thank everybody for coming out to that. But you know, while we were there, we met a mother whose son was also shot last year. He's 16 years old. We need to really reach out to her because she has two sons that are lost. What I mean by lost, they don't know where they're going. She has a daughter who's trying to commit suicide. Her husband is in prison. So we know what we need to do. We need to support the family. I need some men to step up to the plate because these two young teenage boys need a big brother. So, you know, community, what I'm asking, we need a big brother for the two boys because we can't lose them as they try to get their way straight. We can't lose them. We can't do that. So, yes, men, stand up. If you don't call me, I'm going to call you. And do what we can. I'm not saying be there 5, 8, 7 days a week, but be there. And because that's all they really need, to be there. Because yes, their father's in prison. He calls them, but they can't see him. They can't touch him. You know, when they get upset, mad, and want to punch something or whatever, he's not there. So they need some help. But I want to thank everybody else for coming. Okay, now on to today. If everybody knows me, you know I'm the uniting person. I believe that everybody should be together, and I can't understand why they don't. And it's not that I can't understand it, I don't, and I'm not going to understand it. Because if I understand it, then I'm accepting something negative. So we're going to build. Well, you know, a couple of weeks ago, one of my coworkers, she's from Liberia, and we talk all the time. And she invited me to a celebration and blew me away because I had no idea that in Killeen we have a Liberia Association. So that first woke up, I was sitting there, I was awake because I was sitting there, I'm like, I'm the only one that is not from there here, and we don't know who they are. They don't know who we are. We got an issue, not a problem, because problems you can't solve. We have an issue. I said, we're going to change it, and I'm going to invite some people, some men out who do things in the community and that are about doing things for the community, and we're all going to meet. So, Raymond, good morning. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Thanks for inviting us.
Sure. And you're the what now?
President for the Liberia Association of Killeen, Texas.
How long have you all been around?
We've been around almost 5 years now.
5 years? And we didn't know?
Yes. I mean, it's why we didn't expand or go big because, you know, this is a transition area for the military.
Yes.
And most of the time, our members either deploy or they came in 2-3 years they gone. So we try to keep it. If we try to go up there, we had our soldiers leaving and our families leaving, so it was kind of hard.
Right.
But right now we got people that are here staying permanently, so we decided to open our arms and get in the community.
Good. So what's the mission of the association? Or what do you want to accomplish with
our first mission was to help Liberians that just come in the community, because Liberian we like different people, we eat different food, and you know, so when you come up here and you don't know how to get around, you lost. So we decided to found the organization where when Liberians come through, they'll be able to find food that we can eat. They'll be able to get, if someone want to buy the house, they can get a good realtor. If you want to get involved in the community, we can, you know, take you around, show you the right place, the right thing, and mainly for your kids too, to bring your kids to help hang out with other kids so they can do the right thing, because it's all about family and doing the right thing. So that's how we used to do. But right now we decided now to open our arms and go out there.
Good, because we're ready. Now, the one connection that a lot of people don't know is the connection between the United States and Liberia. A lot of us have no clue that there is a connection. So can you talk about it?
Well, I can tell you a lot because when I was growing up in Liberia, we used the same U.S. dollar. It was the same thing. We never had no Liberian money with the U.S. dollar. And even coming to the United States, you didn't even need a visa to come to the United States because Liberia was founded from the slave that they took back to Africa. And that's how Liberia came about. That's how we got the names, like my name, Raymond Carter. That's how we got the name. So it's a whole lot. Even if you look at Liberian flag, the only difference is the stars. We got one star, and the United States got a lot of stars on it. But it's the same red, white, and blue. And most of the streets in Liberia are named after the presidents of the United States.
Wow.
Yeah, we got a lot of, and most of our laws and stuff, it's all because it came from the United States. So there's a lot of connection between the United States and Liberia. So most Liberians, they feel really bad too. I just want to say that because they feel bad when Liberia in crisis or stuff, and the United States don't go there immediately because we like the little kids and they're like our big brother. We look up to them. You see, so that's something. But the connection is a lot. Maybe beside not even beside, but the food we eat almost the same thing. Yes, we like. If you go Liberia, you got burgers, the same thing. You know.
Okay.
So there's a lot of connection between Liberia and the United States. So
we can actually do like school supply drives for Liberia.
Sure, we can. We've been doing all these things, but we've been keeping it in the association.
Right.
Because like this year, beginning with that, schools opening, we usually do back to school for our kids. Mm-hmm. We do honor roll program. Like every student that have all A's, they get certain package and thing. We do that. We recognize how to call it. Yeah, we do the back to school. We do a lot of volunteering stuff too.
Okay, in your religions in Liberia, what are they?
Number one is Christian.
Okay.
And Muslim. Okay. But we got almost all the other religion, but they are very, very low. But Christian is like 60%, and I think Muslim is by 30, and then the 10 would be different religions.
Wow, well, that's interesting. Okay, and George, right? What do you do? A Fire Association.
Yes, ma'am. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm George Yeanue.
Okay.
I'm the publicity chairman for Liberia Organization of Killeen.
And how long you been a member?
I've been a member for like 4 years, ma'am.
Good. Okay. All right. Okay, Darryl. Now we'll start with Brother Robert Muhammad. We're gonna start with you. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing fine. Thank you for having us.
Of course. Because like I said, we.
Yes, ma'am.
We coming together as a family.
We family.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
And we accept all family members.
Yes.
So can you let Raymond know about the 10,000 Fearless?
The 10,000 Fearless is a program that was started as a part of the platform of the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March. And so the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan asked us to return home and to get involved in conflict resolution in our communities. And so what we've been doing throughout the country is signing up people to be a part of the 10,000 Fearless, but under that 10,000 Fearless umbrella, we've started conflict resolution programs like the Squash the Beef hotline that you'll hear about during this broadcast. We started the Peacekeepers Initiative in some cities where we have a coalition of men, women, and children go out to certain hot spots in the community, and we choose a day, we choose a time, and we talk to the young people or the people that happen to be out in the area. And during that time period, the goal is for there to be no violence during that time period. And the motto is 1 hour of doing something is better than 24 hours of doing nothing. The other part of the umbrella, but there are many different programs that are rolling out, but the other one is making our communities a decent place to live. So with the conflict resolution, the Peacekeepers Initiative, we're also carving out certain areas in our community that we're beautifying and we're beautifying the elderly, their homes. Also, some of those, like the sister that you just mentioned,
Right.
whose husband is incarcerated, and 2 teenage sons have difficulty. And I think you mentioned something about the daughter.
The daughter, she tried to commit suicide.
She tried to commit suicide. So those individuals need to know about certain resources to deal with different aspects of the ills that we kind of see in our society, but also what type of, if they own property, what does the property look like?
Right.
You know, some of our elderly, they've gotten, old to the point to where the great grands are running the neighborhoods now, and they can't really control them. But if we make our place a decent place to live by way of the physical look, the Peacekeepers Initiative and the conflict resolution piece, and what that looks like, I always tell people what that looks like is you got Miss Johnson that lives down the street, right? She has a great grandson that may be on that, what do they call that stuff, 2K, some K2. Synthetic K2, K5, whatever it is. My point is, the great grandchild may be involved in some activity that great grandmother can't identify with, and she may be a little afraid. But instead of calling the police department, who may be afraid too, and come out and unholster that weapon and shoot this individual who needs help, we called Brother Darryl, or we call Raymond, and we go down and check on little Junebug and see what's going on. And if he needs to be arrested or apprehended, we make the phone call and we negotiate the intake so that little Junebug can return back home and make amends for the mistakes that he made, but he can continue to live and breathe this air and produce a better generation. So that's in a bean shell, in a nutshell, the 10,000 Fearless. We're looking for fearless men and women to get involved in the first stage, which is conflict resolution. And we're accepting anyone to participate in this program.
Good. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So for the Liberian Organization of Killeen, that we started as a group, like my president said earlier, that we started as a group to first unite Liberians. It was like a crawl, walk, run phase. We are done with the crawl phase, the crawling phase. We, of course, to unite Liberians. But now the walking stage is to open our arms to everybody else, to do other things in the community with our brothers out there, our brothers and sisters out there. So I think that is a great idea. I'm all for that because, like, I'm in the military and we do a whole lot of things out there in the community. I'm involved. Most of our members of the Liberian Organization of Killeen are involved in the communities, as well. Doing a lot of different things out there. And, like, sometimes I go out there to the juvenile detention center and talk to the kids, who are detained, for short term, long terms. So, like, just we want to be more involved, in the community so that we show where we can help. We can, lend our helping hands to anybody out there who are doing some great in the community, And we also have like a lot of projects coming up too that we will need your help too, brother. And later on in this program,
Right.
we can carry on there.
Okay. All right. Okay. Darryl, are you ready?
Definitely.
Now, I'm gonna say something about Darryl before he opens his mouth. He's the shortest one here, actually, too. But I met Darryl a couple of years ago, and as he knows, I call all people younger than me that's in their lower 30s. They're my children, whether they like it or not. They're my kids. I just adopt them all.
Yes, ma'am.
But when I met Darryl, he was this young, energetic person who was looking for not a place, but where he's supposed to be.
Yes, ma'am.
So he was looking for where Darryl should be,
yes, ma'am.
where Darryl could be effective. So he started a few things here and there, and we watched him. We watched him to see if he was really staying true, or was he just trying to be a flash person? And a flash person is, that one that does something real good. Everybody says great, then they go away. Because
this
they figure
is good stuff. I like this. This is good stuff. I like this.
So that, and we have a lot of flash people.
Yes, ma'am.
And so we need to fix the flash people. But Darryl is not. So he's been constantly going one direction. I know one day he told me he was going to do T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
And to myself, I was like, that's no, but go ahead and try it.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, and it didn't make it, so that was a good thing. He didn't stay there because that's not where he needed to be.
It wasn't. I needed to be able to use my mind.
Yes,
definitely.
So now you have grown up.
Yes, ma'am.
And you know where you're supposed to be.
Yes, ma'am.
And you've rightfully taken your place.
Yes, ma'am. I'm trying to get positioned. I'm still working on a couple of things, but I'm definitely I definitely have found an initiative that I think I can follow.
Well, we're all a work in process.
Definitely.
Because we're not perfect and we haven't got there yet.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're still all, I'll tell you, I'm a work in progress. I'm not, don't say this is where she's supposed to be because I don't know.
Yes,
tomorrow
ma'am.
I might supposed to be somewhere else. But you are working in a positive direction because the one thing we do need, when those of us sit down,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean sit down, I'm not saying die, but when we sit down, we need to know that there's somebody else taking the place.
Definitely.
Because a lot of people want to know why older people are still doing what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because when we look behind us, we just see us.
Definitely.
We look behind us and the only person you see is you. You don't see a young person coming up behind
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
So you still have to walk that walk.
Most definitely. That's definitely what I'm trying to do. That's definitely what I'm trying to do.
So let us know where's Darryl taking us.
Right now, what I am doing, I followed up on the initiative of the 1,000 Fearless, the 10,000 Fearless here in Killeen, and we have the Squash the Beef hotline. So that's something that myself, Shatavia, and a few other people are maintaining right now in Killeen. We've had one incident so far, and I think it was successful. I ran everything through to Brother Robert and as well as Brother Willie when he came out, and that was a part of that 38 initiative that would have actually been, what's the word I would use? Mediated. That's some of that's at least some of the success that we had, and I'm empowered by it. You know, I don't want to continuously have phone calls, which means that these situations are being diffused on their own as much as possible. But the fact that we created that opportunity for people to be able to speak and reach out at any point in time and express themselves and say, hey, we do want someone to come and stop me from hurting this person, or I want to stop somebody from hurting myself. I've taken those different trainings, and I've taken a personal initiative to enlighten myself on different ways to diffuse different situations. I've used it at work. I've used it in my daily life, and I've been able to also show and use those things with other people and be successful within it. So,
what's the Squash the Beef hotline number? He knew I was going to ask that. Go ahead.
Let me grab it.
He said, all things she going to say. I knew it.
Our hotline number is 254-300-6287. And I mean, as soon as you call that number, I mean, it'll go to myself. And if I'm not answering, it'll continue to bounce down that line until you get an answer. And we have some very available people that should be able to answer that line and get that initiative started.
Because, you know, it's nice to have the hotline.
Most definitely.
But it's nice to get it out to everybody.
Definitely.
Because you have a flyer. You have a poster.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I would ask you to print some more.
Definitely.
Make sure that most of us who go to, go around and go places, make sure that we have one to say, you know what, can I put this on your wall?
Definitely.
Can I put this on your box? Can I put this on your table?
Yes, ma'am.
Because it won't work unless you work it.
You push it. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
most definitely. Most definitely.
Because there are a lot of people who are out there who need, but like I said, if they don't know, they don't know.
And
yes, we are the Facebook and we're the Instagram people and we're all that, but still we got to remember there's events happen.
Definitely.
And people need to say, you know what, I saw the flyer over there.
Definitely.
I saw that over there.
Definitely.
Because everybody has a smartphone, but they don't have the data package to go with it.
Yes, ma'am.
So they don't use it that way.
You're right.
We got to remember that.
Yes, ma'am.
Whenever we do
it's
something.
It's still footwork to be done.
Yes.
So we have, and a lot of things are mostly pushed on the internet because it's assumed that is where everything is. But, in the streets, there is work to be done. So that's definitely correct.
Because I would like to ask when we all go to the neighborhoods,
mm-hmm.
especially where senior citizens live, most of them only use their phone to dial 911.
Yes, ma'am.
Or to call their close relatives. They don't use it for anything else. They need a poster.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Well, not a big one, but they need something in their hand that they'll put on their wall, on their refrigerator with a magnet, where they can snatch it off and call.
Yes, ma'am.
because other than that, they're going to do the same thing they have always been doing.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and that helps empower them in another way.
Yes, ma'am.
Because, like you said, and Brother Robert Muhammad said, they don't want, some of them don't want to call the police for fear.
Mhm.
You know, my grandson or my son is acting up or acting out or whichever, and I don't want to call the police because I don't want him shot.
Yes, ma'am.
But if I know there's something else I can,
Someone
somewhere else
else
I
I
can
can
call
trust. Yeah.
that, you know, would be a little safer and that would work with her and the kid,
Definitely.
you're going to call. You're going to say, you know what, these people can help bridge that gap. Because unfortunately, and I say unfortunately, it doesn't happen now, years ago, a long time ago, you know, each pastor of a church knew the police department.
Mm-hmm.
And come to arrest your son, the police went to the pastor's house to say, let's go I need to go get her son or his son,
Gotcha.
but you need to go with me. So the pastor would go, and the pastor would say, "We'll tell you, Mr. and Mrs. So and so, your son was
And that's a
caught
great mediation
doing
between them,
something,
definitely.
and you know, police need to take him." Well, the parents felt safe because the pastor was standing right there. Well, nowadays he's not there.
Mm-hmm.
That friendship is broken. It's gone. It doesn't happen anymore. So we need to fill that. That void that needs to be filled.
I like that. Look at Miss Phyllis.
I just wanted to say something regarding that. I don't know, some people may not like what I am about to say, but Pharaoh has taken the clergy away from the community, and you know, the scripture talks about them seeking nearness with Pharaoh, and so, but we have a bunch of upcoming young men and young women in the clergy all throughout the country that are coming up, and they're growing their congregation up into this particular time period in this hour. But those that don't have any interest in doing what you said anymore, they still have the respect from our community, and I call it a perverted respect, because if you're just going to sit in your edifice and you're going to take money from my grandmother, my mother, and my nieces and my nephews and whatnot, but you're not going to come out into the community and do the social development work that the clergy and religious institutions should be doing, then you're not deserving of that financial support or any other support. So one of the things that we are doing is there are a group of upcoming pastors throughout the country that want to be inserted, and they want to engage in specific kind of work that they know that they should be engaged in. And my message to them, we're doing I'm gathering some of them in Austin, and we will do the same in Killeen soon, to make them a part of the movement so that they can have a footprint. But my thing is, if you keep looking for approval from those that have obviously sold themselves to other than God, then you'll never get the approval, you'll never get the platform. But if you are like the Joshua and the Caleb generation, let the old ones go out and do what they do and die off, but you take the promised land because you're not afraid of the giants. And there's a way to do it without being disrespectful to those that laid a path and the foundation before you. But no longer are we going to allow people to sit over our communities and have harnessed the financial power and have harnessed the political power, because when all of those politicians are running, when it's election time, they come into the black church.
Yes, they do.
And depending on who the pastor allows to come, it sways the vote of those parishioners or those members. And so we're not going to allow ourselves to be sold out anymore. We're going to we have to stand up and revive our community, and so we have to do it as the famous line that's attributed to Malcolm is by any means necessary. By any means necessary. So I just wanted to lay that out, because we are in dire straits right now, and we have to get up and we have to move. And those that refuse to hear the cry of the people, then we just have to go around them or through them.
That's true. That's very true, because the Stop the Violence event, I didn't see them there. I didn't see them there. I looked. I looked. I didn't expect to, but I looked anyway. And I looked. I walked around. That's to me. And then to Stop the Hate, Make Killeen Great, I didn't see them there either, and that's a problem. No. I'm saying I didn't see a lot of pastors there.
Okay.
I didn't see a lot of pastors
Okay,
there.
okay.
I didn't see any there. I didn't see them. My brother Robert Muhammad was there, but I'm talking. He doesn't live in Killeen.
Mm-hmm.
He has a vested interest in Killeen,
Mm-hmm.
but he doesn't live in Killeen.
Mm-hmm.
So where was Killeen? That's my thing. Where's Killeen? You know, we need to. We're glad that Minister Robert Muhammad comes here,
Definitely.
but he shouldn't have to always be the one here. There should be somebody already here in
Definitely.
place that he can call and say, "Hey, I can't make it because A, B, and C. You got it."
Well, we did have Brother Tavares that was here.
Yes, we did,
Who
yes.
left, and he'll be back in
Yes.
September for a while, and then after that, I think towards December he'll be returning. And that was a little bit growing under himself, and Brother Robert was something that I was trying to mold myself and grow and be able to mature myself to be able to fill those voids and things like that. So that is some of the things that you are seeing with myself as I continue to develop myself and things like that. I'm not as pristine and as shined up as my brother by far, but I am bold enough to stand out. And I will come out and continue to put myself in there and take whatever whooping until I understand how to maneuver myself. So Killeen is going to get everything that is going to need, whether that's by guidance or just self-direction. It's going to come into what it's supposed to.
Okay, we're gonna take a break and come right back.